Hi, and welcome to the ENC's virtual spring fair. My name is Brittany and I'm with Kean Coffee. I'm sorry we couldn't be there in person to brew you some coffee today, but there's no reason why you can't do that at home. So today we're going to go over how to brew a Hario V60 pour-over. The materials you'll need for your pour-over are filtered water, preferably reverse osmosis, a Hario coffee dripper, a scale that can measure in grams, Hario paper filters, your favorite fresh roasted Kean coffee, a grinder, either manual or electric, and a vessel for your coffee to brew into. Alright, let's learn how to do a Hario V60 pour-over. First things first, we'll need to heat our water up to 202 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you can't program your kettle to 202 degrees, what you can do is get your water to boiling, then wait a few minutes in order for the water to cool down to that 202 degrees. Any hotter and it'll burn your coffee, which we don't want. Alright, now we need some coffee. So we're going to use a 1:16 ratio today. We're going to use 25 grams of coffee in and 400 grams of water. This brew time will be between 2.5 to 3.5 minutes. So we'll grind our coffee first. I'll take a little cup like that. We'll tear our scale so that it's at 0. And I will go ahead and pour 25 grams of coffee. Now the grind of this coffee is very similar to sand. It's a little bit finer, but not as fine as espresso, and where it clumps together. We don't want that. That's too fine. Too fine will make your coffee taste very bitter, and if you don't have enough coffee, it'll taste kind of sour. So grind size is very important when it comes to brewing. Alright, so now that our coffee is ground, next let's get our vessel ready. So Hario does sell a server. I do not have that server, but I do have a mason jar, but you will need the Hario dripper. So I'll place the dripper on top of our server, just like so. Next we'll need a Hario filter. This is very important, that we fold the filter on its seam so it fits nicely into the dripper, and place it like so. Now, if I just start brewing just like this, I would pick up all of the paper tastes that are in the filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to pre-wet our filter with the hot water and get out all that paper taste, because we don't want our coffee to taste like paper, especially when we're buying such nice beans. So I'll let that completely drip through. And what's nice is that it's also heating up the server while I'm getting to rinse out the filter, so it's killing two birds with one stone. Alright, so now our vessel is nice and warm. Our filter is now pre-wet. I'm going to throw away this water. Don't forget that. Then you're just watering down your coffee with paper water. So now I'm going to make sure to tear my scale so it's at 0. Alright, I'm going to take the coffee grounds and pour them directly into the center of the dripper. It should be a nice little mound, 25 grams, perfect. Now I can take my server, just give it a gentle shake, and make sure our grounds are nice and even, because we don't want an uneven extraction when we're brewing. Now we're ready to brew. What I'll do, I'm going to turn my scale to 0 again. And if you have a timer, awesome. Also, cell phones are great, and they have timers on them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start my stopwatch. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with a 30-second bloom. So a bloom is when you're pouring the hot water onto your grounds, and we're going to give it 30 seconds time in order for the gases to release from the coffee. Especially since we're using fresh roasted coffee, the grounds are going to have a lot of gases that might interfere with the extraction. So this bloom period allows those gases to escape and not interfere with it as much. So whenever you are ready, we're going to get our timer, our stopwatch, click start, and I'm going to find a center point between the dripper and the center of my grounds, and I'm going to do a circular pour motion, and I'm going to get all of the grounds wet. It doesn't require that much water. We're going to just, I think it takes about 50 grams at most of water. So all my grounds are now wet. I'm going to wait until we get to that 30-second mark. Your coffee should be smelling super fragrant right now. You might see bubbles appear from the surface. That means your coffee's fresh. Looks really good to go. Okay, we're at 30 seconds. I'm going to pick that center point, and in a circular pulse motion, I'm going to get my coffee scale to read about 150 grams. I'm finding a midway point between the top of the dripper and the center of my grounds. So now coffee is starting to brew. I'm going to wait for the level of the water to go down just a few centimeters, and then I'm going to go ahead in that same exact path, circular motion, bring it to the top of the slurry. So we're going to repeat this procedure of pouring the water until the slurry point until our scale reads 400 grams. And so that's 400 grams of water to our 25 grams of coffee. Pour overs are a lot of fun because you get to watch the coffee in its journey from bean to ground to an amazing cup. And all the while you get to smell the great aromatics that fresh coffee has. Alright, now we're getting towards the end of our extraction. The water is slowly making its way down through the last of the grounds. We will consider it complete though until it's finally finished dripping, and then we're left with an awesome cup of coffee. Now if you want to preheat your cup, your favorite cup, that's a good way to keep your coffee hot longer instead of microwaving it, which you could also do. For preheating, just make sure to throw out your water like you threw out your water with your vessel. Alright, perfect. So that took about 3.5 minutes. I'm going to take my grounds. You can either toss them, or for the sake of reusing our resources, we can take these coffee grounds, we can put them in our garden if we would like it, because it acts as a natural organic fertilizer. We could also use this as a scrub, because I don't know about you guys, I don't want to pay $20 for coffee grounds to get scrub my body when I have some right here. There are many uses you can use coffee grounds for cooking. But we're going to take these, I will put them aside for later. Alright, take your cup of coffee and we'll pour it into your favorite mug. And thank you for learning how to make a Hario V60 pour over with me today. Again, today I used our natural Ethiopian coffee, but if you want to check out all of our coffee offerings, you can go to keancoffee.com. And our offerings change throughout the year. Sometimes we have some very special ones. And thank you guys so much for learning how to do a pour over with me today. Until next time, enjoy.